I'd now like to invite Rob Wild from Sapien Technology to the stage to have a chat with you all.
All right, thank you. Thanks for that introduction. All right, I put together this presentation and thought I'd come up with a fairly unique name of Knowing Your Numbers. But I've seen it mentioned a few times here, not least at the booth, which is suggesting as a bloke thing, we've got to go and get our numbers on our prostate. So recommend everybody do that if you're a bloke. All right, so some time ago, probably 20 odd years ago, my wife and I started a software business. It was fairly simple in the beginning, and it was based around NLIS becoming mandatory in Victoria. So, you know, and there's lots changed since we started. There's a lot of buzzwords in the industry now, things like ad tech and cloud stuff. None of those words existed when we started. We were probably the weirdos in the quiet part of the of any event in a booth. But look, you know, there's lots of things that have changed. Technology has changed. Everything's got a whole lot better. I think also everybody's appetite has changed. I think the industry's moved forward, and I think people here in the room would now have a bigger appetite for understanding information and being able to make decisions. I think what hasn't changed is our mission. From the day we started to what we're doing now, we're really still on a mission to bring people's information together so they can make better decisions. And that could be information across the supply chain, it could be your own information being brought together. We all have the great capacity to collect a lot of data, and we need to be making better decisions. So as I said, our business started 20 odd years ago. We're now managing information on somewhere between 9 and 10 million animals. We do it with seed stock businesses, commercial, pastoral, businesses of all sizes, from the giant pastoral companies to small seed stocks in Australia, New Zealand. So today in my presentation, just want to pose a few questions that I think should be relevant for people operating in this part of the world, across the territory. They may not all be relevant for yourselves, but pick the eyes out of it, see what you get out of it. And it's really just to show some simple examples of how to use information to make better decisions. So, a few questions. So, the first question is cash for kilos. So, can we find those freeloader cows? Do we all know we've got some freeloader cows in our herd? Hands up if you don't have any freeloader cows. Anyone? No, so we all know they're there. Can we find them? And can we make money out of them? Do you have choices around cow condition? Can you change what condition you're keeping your cows in? Some people might be able to, some people may be able to, but what's it worth, and how much time and energy do I spend doing that? Are there any other improvements I can make in our business? You know, I'm sure there's a whole heap of things that we can measure and manage. So we'll have a look at a couple of examples. Does everybody have access to an accurate set of numbers? If you go to the bank and you need to negotiate with your bank different loan terms, do you have a good set of numbers for that? How do you go in that situation? So it's really about how is knowing your numbers going to help your profitability. So if I just jump back to the first question, I'm now regretting I've got so many clicks I've got to do on here to get everything to appear on the PowerPoint. So we know we can draft off dry cows. Yeah, we can preg test them, and the pregnant ones get to be kept, and the empty ones get sold. Well, what's happening there is you're only really making a decision based on the information that's right in front of you. So she's got a whole life history, but you're making a decision based on what you can see that day. Yep. So with our systems, we can bring together the whole life history of an animal, bring that all together so you can make a decision cross-side about her future in your herd. So each year you can record wet dry status, you can record pregnant empty, record a fetal age, and crush-side immediately you have all of that information brought together and produce a timeline. So we can see, this is a cow's history. I can't talk to the mic and look at where I'm pointing. It's quite a difficult task. We can see a cow's history here at the top, and the cow at the bottom has been dry for the last couple of years. And if she comes up dry again, they definitely get rid of her because she's not produced anything for 2 years. So that makes those decisions a whole lot easier. So if you're already preg testing, if you're already condition scoring, if you're already wet and drying, then this is no extra work. It's just tapping it on a button on an enter pad, and then having all of that data at your fingertips in real time. So, some of our clients have said to us, well, you think you know your animals, but once you've done this, then you realise you really don't know your animals. And it's the information that really reveals some great insights into what your animals are doing. So getting rid of your non-productive cows improves your carbon footprint as well, because they're not burping and farting their way and giving you nothing. All right, so keeping cows in better condition. So what are we looking at here? We've brought together a round 2 preg test result. So looking at cows that were pregnant, got a condition score in round 2 before the wet season, come back in round 1 and you've recorded whether they're wet or dry. So 2 simple pieces of information to capture. A condition score in round 2, are they wet or dry in round 1 the following year? So what we're really interested in, is the increase in productivity between a condition score 2 and a condition score 3. So if you do that on your own herd, you'll work out, well, what's it worth to me to keep cows in better condition? So if you need to make decisions around nutrition, you now have a map of the response that you're most likely going to get. And you can work out the value of the decisions that you need to make. So with making the decisions around nutrition, you don't have to rely on gut feel. We can also plot similar things when you're talking about expected calving dates. So if you're preg testing in round 2 and you get a forecast calving date, you can then plot that against how many of them come back wet, how many come back dry the following year. So you can look for issues. The cows that calve earlier might come back, more of them come back wet than the cows come back the calving later, vice versa. So it allows you to hone in on some of the things that are limiting your productivity. Botulism vaccine. So this was another example brought to my attention. So cows come through for a vaccination program. Some of them miss a muster. They come through in the next muster. They've missed their vaccine, so they're susceptible. May be a contributor to mortality. So, you know, fortunately for us now, we have computers that are pretty good at remembering things, remembering dates around a whole lot of cattle. So we can simply have the machine tell us that this cow has missed getting a booster. An alarm come up, have the vaccine there. So, you know, and that will contribute towards reducing mortality. And we all know the research tells us from years ago that if we have a lower mortality rate, we have a more profitable business. So if you scan all your cattle as they come through the race and up the crush, it's fairly easy to get our system to generate a reconciled set of numbers. It'll take into account the cows that are missing, the cows that haven't been seen, and puts you in a good position if you're walking into the bank or anywhere, your vet that you want to talk to, financiers. You can start with showing them the facts about your business and negotiate your position from there. So you can generate that at any time, and our system just happily brings all that data together at the press of a button. So you need to ask yourself how you can make informed decisions. You know, we get reports from our customers that they think they get about a 3% improvement in productivity every year for multiple years. And these are genuine improvements, and it's not that hard to do. We've got some equipment set up in our booth. You want to come and have a look at it. It's very easy. We've got an enter pad there where it's all just one-touch recording. I think someone said to me this morning, or it might have been last week, after they looked at it, they went, "Oh, that's brain dead easy to do that." So you can get all these advantages. So you need to come and have a look and come and talk to us at the booth and discuss with us what you want to achieve. Because I've only put some ideas up on the page that I think might be relevant, but you know your business better than I do. So if there's things there that you want to improve or manage better, come and see if our system can help you do that. Thank you.
And that's me, Jess.